Today is Thursday, September 18th, 2025, and this is Sliced, New York Climate Week 2025. Because I'll be at New York Climate Week next week, there will not be a Sliced essay next Tuesday. Instead, I've released two Sliceds this week. The Tuesday edition featuring our recent podcast episode, Turning Nature Data into Business Strategy with Sebastian Leap, and this edition. Like most people attending New York Climate Week, I've got a packed schedule while I'm there. That said, if you'll be in the city as well and would like to connect, please send me an email at jtipton@gordian.strategies.com. Since I work primarily remotely, I genuinely value these moments of gathering with the climate and environmental community in person. For me, it's not just about networking, it's motivating. Being surrounded by people who care deeply about the same issues as I do always leaves me re-energized for the months ahead. As I've been preparing for the trip, I've been reflecting on New York Climate Week itself, such as its history, its role in the broader climate conversation, and some of the things I hope we'll see come out of this year's edition. Started back in 2009, alongside the UN General Assembly, New York Climate Week has grown into one of the world's biggest annual climate gatherings. It's no longer just about panels and pledges, but also a stage for announcements, alliances, and financial commitments. For me, it's also an important litmus test. Where are we actually making progress, and where are we still talking in circles? One area that I'll be watching closely, and I'm sure this will not come as a surprise, is carbon markets, especially the voluntary carbon market, the VCM. Demand for high-quality carbon credits is growing, but credibility and integrity are still in question. My hope is that New York Climate Week brings some clarity and confidence with more demand signals, stronger guardrails, and genuine commitments to scale. I'll also be looking for resistance to the current political headwinds in the United States. The current U.S. administration's onslaught on climate science, regulation, and environmental protection is literally impossible to ignore. In that context, New York Climate Week has the potential to serve as a counterweight and create a space where business leaders, NGOs, scientists, investors, cities, and communities double down on ambition rather than retreat. Another area that deserves more airtime is adaptation. Too often, headlines are dominated by clean energy and carbon cuts. Now, of course, these are vital, and I support all of that, but adaptation, how communities actually cope with rising seas, intensifying heat, and spreading wildfires, needs much more attention and funding. So I'd like to see some serious conversations about scaling adaptation finance and embedding it into every investment decision. At the same time, I hope to see more announcements on financial flows to vulnerable countries and communities. There are many annual financial pledges that continue to remain unmet, and new funds are still forming. New York Climate Week can't solve these gaps, of course, but it can help keep pressure on wealthy nations and mobilize private finance to fill in where public money falls short. There are a few other things on my wish list, including discussions on stronger alignment between financial institutions and net zero pathways, progress on nature-based solutions beyond just forests, including wetlands, peatlands, and grasslands, and finally, conversations about creative uses of blended finance to unlock private capital at scale. I feel like a few credible commitments in these areas would go down as a win in my book. Ultimately, what excites me most about New York Climate Week is the mix of people it brings together in the same city and oftentimes in the same room. That combination has real power, and we've all felt it anytime we go to an event like New York Climate Week. My hope is that the week doesn't just produce press releases, but sparks collaborations and commitments that carry throughout the rest of 2025 and into 2026 and beyond. We all know the stakes are too high for anything less. Okay, so if you're attending New York Climate Week, what are you hoping to see? Drop me a note.